Today we are going to cook a pork chops Irish style. So what I have here is 4 pork chops for 4 people, and I've removed as much of the visible fat, most of the visible fat. So I'm going to season them first, a little bit of salt and some pepper, and then spray them with a little bit of spray oil. I have the pan here heating already, and I'm going to just seal them on the oil side down, just to give them a little brown colour and seal in the flavours. And there we are. Now, because we're going to turn them over, we're going to give them a quick spray on the other side, or when we turn them over, and with our seasoning. I'm not going to need a huge amount of salt for this particular recipe. Okay, so while they're cooking away there, I'm going to show you the vegetables we're going to use. Traditional Irish vegetables we have here would be your cabbage, your onions, and I know it's not very traditional, but I'm also going to put in some garlic just for an extra depth of flavour. Then we're going to use some turnip or swede and carrot. This is about a large turnip or swede, and here 2 fairly big or 3 medium-sized carrots cut into dice. Because this is a pork dish, I'm also going to put in an apple, which I've chopped up. Now, but you could also do this with chicken, in which case then you wouldn't need the apple. Okay, turn over the pork chops and seal them on the other side. And we'll get our casserole dish out. We're going to pop the pork chops into the bottom of the casserole dish and layer some of the vegetables over them. Now, because the turnips and carrots are going to take that bit longer to cook than the cabbage and the onions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the turnip and carrots in here in a little bit of water, which I'm going to turn into the sauce. And the cabbage and the onions and the garlic and the apple will go straight into the pot on top, into the casserole dish on top of the actual pork chops. So in they go. Nicely cooking away. Perfect. So slot them all in there, and then in on top of that will go the cabbage, your onions, your garlic. If you want to, you can mix it together in a bowl first before you put it on, but in actual fact it'll all cook down inside in the oven, and then when you're serving it, you'll be mixing it all up anyway. Pop it in there, and our apple on top. Okay. Take them away to the side. So here into the pot I'm going to put the turnips and the carrots, and then add in about a pint of water just to start them off cooking. A pint of boiling water preferably. There we go. In we go. Our pint of boiling water. And this acts for 2 reasons. First of all, we're going to start cooking off the turnip and the carrot just to get them a little bit of a head start. But also, we have all those lovely pork flavours in the bottom of the pan, and we want to bring them out so that then they can be put into the sauce itself. So I'm just going to let them come back up to the boil for just about 2 minutes. That's all they need. And then we'll start making the sauce. So here we have our turnip and our carrot has been simmering away for just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to just take them out and pop them in on top of the cabbage and the onion and the pork itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lovely stock that we've created with the flavours of the pork from the bottom of the pan and the vegetables to make a sauce. Don't worry if you can't get all of them out, because they'll be poured on top anyway. So you can fish most of them out. It makes it much easier to make the sauce. Okay, that's grand. Okay, so here I have 2 heaped tablespoons of instant gravy granules and some sage. Now, if you decide to do this particular dish with pork, mixed herbs or with pork, then sage is perfect. If you decide to do it with chicken, mixed herbs would probably be better, but you could also use sage as well. So in goes the sage, and then the last thing is our gravy granules, which we're just going to whisk in to thicken up the sauce. It will come out quite thick initially, but when it goes in on top of the vegetables, all the moisture that will come out of the vegetables will serve to thin it out a little bit, so it won't be as thick when it comes out. So panic not. Okay, that's nicely mixed up. And then just using a spatula, pour it in on top of all the vegetables and the pork, and it'll seep down through it as it's cooking in the oven. And all the lovely flavours of the apple and the vegetables and the pork will go through it. It looks like there's not going to be any moisture in this at all, but trust me, when it comes out of the oven, it'll have plenty of juices. So just give it sort of a spread about, and then pop the lid on the casserole dish and into an oven, medium heat, about 150 degrees, gas mark 5, 6-ish, for approximately an hour, and then we'll have a look at it then. Okay, so our casserole has had its hour in the oven, and as you can see, we have a lovely rich gravy there with all the lovely veggies all nicely mixed together. Now I'm going to serve this with some boiled new potatoes, which I have here. So I'm going to put the vegetables onto the plate first. Get some of the nice gravy as well. Make sure you have plenty, little bit of a mix around to make sure that you get lots of all the different vegetables. And then root out one of the pork chops, pop it on top of your veggies, and a little bit of the sauce to go over it. And there you go. Full of taste, full of flavour, plenty of vegetables, and your lovely boiled potatoes with lots and lots of fibre. Very nice for your 5 a day, and of course works equally well with chicken. Enjoy.